Hi, this is Roland Whitney of Hot Rods by Roland. Handcrafted custom fishing rods when you want to set the lake on fire. Yep, that's me. This I wanted to document by video this rod. This is a custom built rod requested by Miss Pauline Mazarak Thiel. Good old friend of me and my wife's. We've been knowing since we was teenagers. This rod is for her husband Phil Thiel, who is a very avid fisherman. When he's on his days off, that's pretty much all he does. And its rod is personalized, of course, and has a Saints, a black and gold New Orleans Saints theme to it. And that'd give you a little idea right there, just a little bit. But let's start with talking about the rod blank itself. This is an MHX rod blank. This is a crankbait rod. It's a 905 in white. You can see it's a white rod. I call this a punch rod for punching down into heavy cover, lily pads, water hyacinths, whatever. It's for like a jig and a pig. It's a 7.5 foot rod, and it's pretty stiff on the back end, but it still has a good bit of feel on the tip. MHX rods are only available through a custom rod builder. If you can see anything, or if you have any questions about MHX rods, feel free to give me a call. I'll be happy to put you in touch with them. Going down from the label, you can see we got our little Saints guy there, right in the middle between the personalization graphic and the hook keeper. Hook keepers are usually where I start on my rods. I can try different color combinations. Even though this is a black and gold theme, there's lots of ways you can combine threads to make it more interesting, more beautiful, and more detailed, which is the fun part for me. A lot of guys don't like doing all this detail work because they just want a rod. This is a blend of my artistic side and my technical design side. So I've been really enjoying this. As we move down a bit further, you can see a Fuji SKS split reel seat. Split reel seats have gotten to be real popular with professional tournament fishermen because it lessens the weight of the reel seat greatly, and you have contact when you palm your reel directly with the rod blank itself. Now this rod blank, in the space between the barrel section and the trigger section, I actually did a wrap, which came out very beautiful. This is a gold tiger eye. It's like gold and brown tiger eye silk thread. It's actual silk. It's smaller than a size A, between the two gold winding checks. And I really like the way I call these boings. It's like a spring wrap. It looks like a spring or coil design. And that's my boings. I like these SKS reel seats. I think they look cool, and they don't take up very much space, and they don't weigh very much. Sorry about that. I dropped myself. They don't, like I was saying, they don't weigh very much. And then for the grips, we have a high grade 2-part grip. It's rubberized cork in grade A Portuguese cork. It's really beautiful. Very heavy duty for the grip and for the butt grip. In between the butt grip and the rear grip, I did a very long dragon scale wrap. Now when I set up 7 and 7.5 foot rods, I usually use a 12-inch rear grip, which means that from the back end of the reel seat to the end of the rod itself is 12 inches. And I find that this gives really good balance once the reel is put onto the reel seat. Balance and lightness equals a long, easy day of fishing. You don't get tired. So, the dragon scale wrap, is a 2-layer kind of 3D designed wrap. And you can see I did it in gold, and I inset in the very center of the dragon scale a black, Electra black, and Mylar gold insert into the dragon scale. And then between that center section and the end, I put a fleur-de-lis. Get a little light, a little more light here, and you can see the fleur-de-lis pretty easily on each side of the center wrap. For the end wraps, again, you can see that even though the theme on this rod is black and gold, there are lots of different ways that you can do black and gold. One of the coolest things I found was this pearl white, which I absolutely love, that I can insert and give even more of a dramatic contrast. I mean, there's no more greater contrast than white and black. So, as you can see, this came out really, really good. I'm very happy with the way the rear grip section went. And we'll move forward through the rear seat again. You can see that. In front, we'll go back to the main graphic, which is, in this case, Phil's, personalization of his rod. And then we have the helmet. And we'll go to the first guide. The first guide is a stripper guide, size 8. These are Batson Alps guides with gold inserts. Start off with a size 8 2-foot guide. And instead of doing micro guides, because I didn't know if this particular guy used micro guides, I just used a conventional guide size as a number 6 guide size all the way up to the tip of the rod. Now the spacing on the guides is pretty much the same as what I would do for micro guides. Actually, they're a little bit farther because they are larger guides. Micro guides need to be put a little bit closer together. So here's the tip. Another element of my rods that I build that kind of separates me a little bit from any other rod builder is I always do the tip wrap. You see that? That's gold with black inset. I do my tip and my hook keeper wraps completely opposite of what I do on the guides. And you can see there the guide setups are black with gold instead of gold with black. So, no matter what color combination I use, that's kind of like my personal signature on the rods is the hook keeper. Oh, shouldn't have seen that. The hook keeper and the tip wrap is exactly the opposite of the guide wraps. So there you have it. One of my favorite rods that I've built to date. Of course, every one I do, the next one is always the best rod I ever did. I guess I'm so blessed to be able to do this. Even though I can only do it a few hours, maybe 3 hours at most a day, it does keep me from going pretty much nuts. So, Merry Christmas, Phil Thiel. Pauline, thanks for allowing me to do this for you. And good luck fishing. That's Hott Rodz by Roland. HOTTRODZ by Roland at WordPress.com. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.